In today's video, we're going to be learning how to cut this beautiful, simple halter neck dress. So if it's something you would love to learn, do well to watch to the end of the video, like, share, and subscribe. And I want to say a big thank you to all my returning subscribers and my new subscribers. You guys are the best. So let's get right to it. So from the top here is my starting point and my shoulder line. I'm going to come down to take my vertical measurement. We are drafting the front pattern first. So from my shoulder to my bust point is 9.5 inches. I'll mark that and extend the line across. From the shoulder line again, I'm going to come down to mark my underbust. From my shoulder to my underbust is 12 inches. I'll mark that, then extend the line across. Then from the shoulder line, I'm going to come down to mark my waist point. From my shoulder to my waist in front is 16 inches. I'll mark that, extend the point across. And then from the waistline, I'm going to come down to mark the basque line. So I'm marking 8 inches as my basque line from the waistline. I'll go ahead and extend the point across. I'll label my line appropriately. This is my basque line, my waistline, under bust line, and my bust line. So I'm going to come to the shoulder, divide my shoulder by 2. My shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5. At that point, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll come here to mark my neck width of 3 inches. I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the neck width. I'm going to come down to mark my neck depth of 3 inches. And I'll just connect from the neck width all the way to this point. I'll come here to mark my chest line. How to get your chest line? Divide your bust by 6, then add 1.5 inches. I got 7. I'll extend that point across. On my chest line, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement here, and I'm going to connect from here all the way to this point. I'm going to come here, divide what I have here into 2 equal halves to get a midpoint. At the midpoint, I'll go in by half an inch, and I'll come to the chest line, mark my bust measurement divided by 4 here, and I'll go ahead and connect all these points together to form my armhole this way. The next thing is to mark our dart, and to mark your dart, you're going to divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. My nipple to nipple is 7, divided by 2 is 3.5. I'll mark it on the bust line, under bust line, waistline, and all the way to the top length. I'll connect this point together with a straight line. I'm going to come to the waistline, mark half an inch on both sides of our dart leg on the waistline, and I'm going to come up from the top length by 2 inches. I'll come down from the chest line by 1 inch. I'll go ahead and connect my dart. So we are using a preset dart for this. I'm going to connect from here to the midpoint of my armhole, and I'm going to come here and come down by 1 inch from this line. I'll come down by 1 inch. We're going to tighten up this place by 1 inch, and I'll connect it back into the original line. So this 1 inch we came down, I'm going to extend it here so we don't have any shortage when we are sewing. I'll extend it here by 1 inch and connect this to that 1 inch. I'll also replace the 1 inch on the chest line, and I'll reconnect my armhole. The next thing is to impute our round body measurement. We've already marked our bust measurement here. I'm going to come here to add my seam allowance of 1 inch. I'll come to the underbust, divide my underbust by 4, add my seam allowance. I'll come to the waistline, divide my waist by 4, and I'll replace the 1 inch for that, then add my seam allowance. I'll come down from the waistline by 2 inches. This is where I want the basque to start from. If you look at the thumbnail closely, you realize that the basque starts like 2 inch or 3 inch below the waistline, but it depends on what you want, where you want your basque to start from. You can also start from the waist. Connect from here to this point like this, then I'll come in by my sewing allowance of 1 inch from here and connect from there to my basque line like so, and this is what we have. So I'm going to mark my bust dart. To mark your bust dart is a different from your shoulder to your waist in front and back. From my shoulder to my waist in front is 16, while the back is 14.5 inches. The difference is 1.5 inches. So I came down from the bust line by 1.5 inches and connect back to my bust line this way. So we are going to be cutting this out, and this is basically it for the front. I'll go ahead and cut it out before we work on the neckline. So this is what we have. I'll cut my bust dart also. I'm going to close it up. I'm going to close it up this way, and I'm going to bring it like this. Make sure the lines are aligning. Okay, then from here I'm going to come in from the neck here by 1/2 inch. So it depends on the kind of halter neck you are doing. So we are recreating what we have on the thumbnail, so it depends on what you want. So I'm just going to connect from this 1/2 inch all the way to the chest line with my curve rod this way. So by the time I open this up, it's going to be 1 inch. All right, by the time I open the center front up, it's going to be 1 inch that will have there. So this is it. It's an off shoulder halter neck, and we're going to be cutting the center front on fold, and then this one ×2. So this is basically for the front. We keep this aside, then work on the back pattern. After the measurement we need for the back, the bust line, waistline, then I have my zipper allowance of 1 inch here. So I'm going to come to the shoulder line, divide my shoulder by 2. Make sure all your measurements are taken after the zipper allowance. Then I'll come down by 1 inch at that point for my shoulder slope. Mark my neck width of 3 inches. I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to that point. I'm going to come here by 1 inch. I'll come down by 1 inch for my neck depth. I'll connect from the neck width all the way to that point. The next thing is to mark the chest line. So I'm going to come down here from the shoulder slope to mark the chest line, just the way we did for the front. Divide your bust by 6, add 1.5 inches to the measurement, extend the line across. On the chest line, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement here. I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to that point. I'm going to come to this line, divide it into 2 equal halves to get the midpoint. At the midpoint, I'll go in by 1/2 inch. I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference by 4, and I'll connect the point to form my armhole this way. So I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 here on the chest line, bust line, waistline, and on the basque line. So I'm going to connect this point together with a straight line. On the waistline, I'm going to be marking 1/2 inch on both sides of that leg, and I'll come up from the top line by 2 inch and then come down from the chest line by 1 inch. I'll go ahead and connect my darts. The next thing is to impute our round body measurements. We've already marked our bust. I'll add my sewing allowance. For the waist, I'll mark my waist measurement. I'm not going to be replacing this dart because I won't be using this dart for the back pattern. All right, and then I'll come down from here by 2 inches from the waistline, and I will extend this point across. This is where our bust is going to be starting from. Then I'll connect from here all the way to this line. I'll come in by 1 inch, my sewing allowance, and connect to the basque line. Like I said, I will be using that for the back pattern, but if you want that, is also fine. So I'm going to come to this zipper allowance on the waistline. I'll mark 1/2 inch here. This is to prevent our zip from bulging after sewing. We're going to be taking out this excess, and this is basically it for the back pattern. I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So the back pattern is stopping at the chest line this way. You can see where I cut from, and this is what we have for the back pattern. What you need to do is to just gather the down parts to this upper part, and this is basically. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and I will see you in the next video.